Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of How to Draw Anything, our special edition of OC-Tober. And we'll explain that in a second. But first of all, my name is Debbie Huey. I am an employee of San Mateo County Libraries, and you would normally find me at the Millbury branch. And we also have Lynn.
Hello, my name is Lynn. You probably know this by now. You may recognize my face from the Belmont branch or from some of the other art programming that we have been streaming online. And as you should be able to see, we have a special guest with us, the first in a while.
Hi, everyone. It's Miss Nicole from Storytime, or from the summer STEAM camp activities that we did this past few months. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you. So we are doing something a little special for the month of October, which is very popular for like having art challenges that go all the way on throughout the month. And we're not going to be able to do them daily like a lot of the challenges are kind of prescribed to be, but we still thought it would be fun to participate in one of these challenges. And Debbie already name dropped it. It's a bit of a pun on the name October, which is OC-Tober. So an OC is shorthand for original character. It usually refers to when you create your own character that is either inspired by a movie, a game, a show, or it's made for some kind of game like a role-playing or tabletop. And this month, this challenge is all about celebrating those fun, cool, original characters that you've made up. So we are actually going to have a series of special guests this month. Nicole is our first one, who are offering up either their own OCs or their family and friends OCs for us to draw for them. So it's self-indulgent on everyone's part, and I'm very excited.
So Nicole, do you have a little bit of a background of the OC or original character that you're going to be having Lynn draw today?
I do. So the OC that Lynn will be drawing is a character from my partner's game. It's a role-playing game called Deadlands. And this one is the Hell on Earth one, which is a post-apocalyptic world that meets folklore. So there's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and a reckoning on Earth. And
as you do.
Group, yes, and his group are basically going around Earth trying to solve cases and other things. So it's a bit like if Mad Max meant supernatural.
All right, that sounds very fun. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to start drawing. And Nicole, once I have that set up, if you want to start giving me some basic details that you got from your partner about his OC, we can get started. Oops. You need to actually hit start broadcast. That would help. There we go. And hop over once he catches up. There we go. Okay.
Very cool. All right. So his character's name is Thomas Mansfield. Mm-hmm. He's 7 feet tall and 250 pounds. Very brawny. Had a life of hard labor and also used to be in the military. So he has a bit of a gut from a poor diet. A very long life and short military cut hair. So he kept that, as well as his helmet from the military. But his helmet has now lost its face shield that it used to have. Mm-hmm. He's has thick skin, a bit of rugged and maybe warped a little bit, which is quite an interesting facet to his character. And apparently he has a scowl all the time. Like bags under his eyes.
I suppose there's not too terribly much to be happy about when you're living in a world with the 4 horsemen up to shenanigans.
Right? Like, what is happening?
Is he a human?
Yes, he is human.
Okay.
But another fun character that my old roommates is playing is a librarian, which is another time. His clothing is a bit tattered because it's the apocalypse. Like, what is in good condition when it's the apocalypse?
You gotta make do with what you have.
Right, but it's purple. He has a purple sweatshirt with the sleeves torn off, and it's from the University of Washington. So I guess he used to go to the University of Washington.
I like that.
And then a patched over green flannel over it.
Okay. Those are
So very like Pacific Northwest. I wonder if that's where this character's from.
Let's just get these very roughly sketched out. We'll try and clean up as much as we can as we go.
I like that you have him holding his right helmet.
Yeah, I wanted to show the military haircut.
Yeah. You got to.
Let's see. So, how old is he? Did you mention? Or do you know?
He doesn't say.
Okay. I will assume somewhere just in middle-ish, early adult years. Well, actually, I suppose it depends on how long ago the apocalypse happened, if he was old enough to have joined and left the military.
Oh, here's another fun tidbit. Apparently, his shield is a stop sign.
That's cool.
What a good detail.
So
I love it.
Stop.
yeah. He welded it together with other signs to make it big enough to cover him.
I love the ton of details in.
I know. It is a very fun, interesting game to listen to. The storyline, it's almost like a book. Like I think they started writing out what was happening just to keep track. And I found out there's like Reddits where people share their stories from their role-playing games, which is
awesome.
Very fascinating.
Very cool.
How long did it take your partner to come up with this character?
So usually they have to do a session with the game master to find out, like you roll your dice for qualities like fear or strength, and luck is another one, which is interesting. So some of the characters end up like foolishly, like they're fools, but they're super lucky, kind of like that one character from Star Wars. What's his name? Do you remember?
He was lucky.
The swamp character from Star Wars. I'm totally blanking. I'm such a bad Star Wars fan.
I'll be honest, when I'm thinking lucky,
like he always ends up in terrible situations that they have to save him.
Jar Jar.
Yes, Jar Jar. It's Jar Jar. Like, yeah. So it takes some time to think about your character and how you want to basically how you want them to be in the game. And oftentimes there are like characters that are pre-made, from what I understand.
Okay.
But that's part of the fun of role playing, is that you get to make these up and make your own original character, right?
Yeah. Do you ever play with your partner, or you just enjoy sitting in and listening to their story unfold?
I'm more of an observer. I like listening to the storyline and finding out what happens next, because it's so unpredictable. It's literally by the roll of your dice what happens next.
Yeah, it always impresses me how people actually make like full-on storylines out of that sort of thing, because it's so improvised and dependent on happenstance. But they make real character arcs and things, and it's like, wow, good for you.
Yeah, it's super fascinating. He tried being a game master, so we got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of how that happens, and I would see him plan for hours and hours during like the evening or weekends trying to prep for his next game session, and then they just steamroll it in the first 10 minutes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's so
So you
sad.
really have to be a good game master to like think on your feet and change like what happens next.
Yeah, you never know what the players are going to latch on to.
Exactly. They're currently stuck helping a pie maker, or like she's a really good baker that they came across because they helped try to solve a mystery for her. And now she's just kind of like the game master's extra character that's tagged along, and now they're in a pie contest, and this is what
That's so fun.
they're stuck in a pie contest because she's such a wholesome character, like the aunt that you always wanted to visit, who's fun, so sweet, who could never do any wrong. And they just want her to win.
No, that's so cute. I like how these like role-playing games, like you have all these subplots too, you know, you have like the larger arc of the game, but then you might just end up in a smaller story. There's just like stories within stories, and it's so fun.
It's almost like watching a television show. It's why I like to sit in on it.
That's neat.
Also, just in drawing your partner's character, I find it an absolutely delightful mental image that is part of his crew helping a sweet old lady win a pie contest.
Can you imagine this character helping this wholesome person bake pies?
It's just delightful.
Oh, they're gonna love this. Maybe we should draw a pie.
Oh yeah.
Pie goes here.
Awesome.
The most intimidating thing he's ever faced.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect apple pie in the post-apocalypse.
Yeah, that was an interesting plot twist. It's a post-apocalyptic world. The four horsemen are running amok, and here they are baking pies.
Everyone has their means of winding down.
Exactly. Let's see.
How long has this game been going on, like this particular session? Do you know?
I'm trying to see if he wrote it down. I think it started almost a month ago. They had just finished their other role-playing game, which is a totally different one that I can't quite recall. It's not Deadlands. But Deadlands was the one that they're really excited to come back to. Yeah, because the other one that they had played, and they had played that one setting, which is the Western one, for, I want to say 2-3 years.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. It's with, so I don't know if you know this, but I used to live in a house of nerd. Where just basically all of our roommates are all like, they worked at Crunchyroll or worked in other like anime game settings, writing reviews for games and stuff. So they also we're all friends, and basically they're our second family. And he's still playing in, but now from Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if they're using Zoom. They might be using Discord.
Okay.
So, yeah, they all were in that same game. And it was easy to play role-playing games because you didn't have to try to coordinate times to, like, meet.
Just be like, meet me in the living room.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Every Sunday, they would play.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 to 3 years, so that's a commitment, you know. That's
is.
awesome. That's so
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. we've had some guest players, which are friends, join in on one time or sessions every now and again. And they always throw another loop to it. Yeah, it's a fun group, and sometimes that's how it is with role-playing games. Once you find your group, you kind of want to stick together because the dynamics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of learn each other and how you're going to play the game together.
Yeah. So they've created a very fun game session. We've sat in on some other ones from like other friend groups, and it's kind of like no one wants to get into character. So, and that's part of the fun of role-playing games is you get into the character and act it out. Get the voice right. It's hilarious listening to Nelson be this sweet old lady.
Oh.
Yeah, to be fair, the impression I get is oftentimes the things players latch onto are based on what they find the funniest, making their other friends have to keep doing.
Yes.
Oops.
It's coming out so well, Lynn. So well.
Oh.
Thank you.
I'm obsessed with this scowl. It is a good scowl.
I'm channeling all of my inner, having read and watched all of Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh.
They have such delightful square mouths,
Yeah.
square jawlines and things. It really sells the scowl. I'm probably going to block part of this arm via the pie anyway, so it's fine. That's not quite how an arm would bend. Let's actually get the table.
Have you ever considered joining in on their campaigns?
I
Nicole?
have. Yeah, I've thought about it. I just get a little intimidated because this is a group that's done it for years, longer than Mike and I have been together.
Oh yeah.
So, but they're always so friendly, and again, they're like second family.
Right.
I think what stops me mostly is that I'd much rather listen to their story, or I get caught up in my own reading.
Yeah, the time commitment you have to have for doing role playing.
But yeah, it's funny. They add me in other ways. Like they create a character that's almost similar to me. They've even done this in like video games where they've made me a sharpshooter for one of their team. I forget which game that was. Might be Call of Duty or yeah.
That's fun.
That's cute.
Yeah, though it's funny because they'll talk about me in the third person while I'm in the room and like, what did I do?
So what do pies actually look like?
I know you have artistic talent, Nicole. Do you ever draw any of their characters too?
No, actually, though I should, because it is quite fun. One of our best friends, John, who's in this current game session, he's an artist too, and he's drawing his character. He's created some very fantastic one. He actually started creating fan art of, I forget which show it was. And I remember 3D printing one of his goblin characters.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
in the
fun.
library when we first got those 3D printers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I miss art, which is why it's so fun that you guys are doing this. I guess throwing that question a little bit towards you is like, how do you continue to draw and be in touch with your artwork?
For me, I feel like sometimes I get lost, I don't draw as much as I feel like I should be. But the amazing thing about October is it's very inspirational to me, just, having this challenge of drawing something every single day of October. It's kind of like a set assignment for me. And it gives me that opportunity to try new things, like to draw in different styles that I'm not used to. So, yeah, October is always like super fun and invigorating, and I always learn something. So, so I'm looking, I'm looking forward to participating this month and seeing what I come up with.
Very fun. Yeah, and fall. There's something that's inspiring about fall and Halloween.
For sure. How about you, Lynn?
I have a harder time not drawing, to be honest.
That's a great spot to be in.
Yeah.
I am very jealous.
I think it's in large part just because it is sort of like my chosen creative medium. Like, I like making stories, but I've found that the way I like telling them is by drawing them more than anything else. So if I ever need to get something out of my head, that's kind of the only way to do it.
Very cool.
Yeah, we always like to say that drawing is writing. If you're making up, characters and you're writing, you're using your imagination to create something that's never been created before. And like, even, for all your gaming friends, they're writing like a lot, they're doing so much work in making these characters and making these stories. Like, they might, people might think, oh, role playing is just playing. No, it's like way more than that.
Yeah, it totally taps into your creativity and your imagination. I could like some of the storylines they've done, I could literally see it being played on the TV.
So cool.
Yeah, and I also just love making OCs. Like, I don't use them for games, but I have a lot that I've kind of accrued over the years of like, I watch a thing and I'm like, I love that setting. I'm good at world building, so I'm going to steal that setting and make my own character for it.
Yes.
And just have them like live in my head, develop into their own thing, and just, they're almost like mental relaxation exercises for me. Like, things may be going on, but I can always go back to playing with like the characters and the stories that are just in my head and be like, wow, I have homework I don't want to do or I'm feeling overwhelmed by. Let's take a little bit to pick up on where we left off with that one character who's trying to become an actress. What would she do in this situation? Little mental exercises like that. I find them very, very relaxing. I've not been paying attention at the time. I don't know how long.
Yeah, I actually haven't either, but I think we're getting close to the half-hour mark. So
okay,
I would start trying to wrap things up soonish.
I think you're this is an awesome character, Lynn. You've done Thomas Mansfield justice.
I'm very glad. Your partner gave a very good description of his kind of character and just the absolute entertainment of putting him in situations like having to bake a pie. It's delightful.
Yeah.
Right? Can't you see that playing out in an anime?
Oh, yes. It's one of those like absolutely correct plot points. Like, you have the character who's like the tough, cool guy who rough and tumble, and then you put him in like the single most domestic situation you can and have him bring the exact same energy that he would to a fight when he's baking. It's a very good character type.
Yeah, at one point in the story, they tried to debate as a team whether they should bribe the judges.
Oh.
Oh no.
Because they wanted Lynn to. Oh, the character's name is Lynn. I told like the pie maker, her name is Lynn.
It was meant to be.
Yes. I now just remembered that. Yeah, they wanted Lynn to win the contest. So they're like, should we talk to the judges?
Okay. That'll probably be more or less, make it a little bigger. That's more or less the sketch. And so
cool.
it's bad handwriting. That's okay. So Thomas, what was his last name again?
Mansfield.
Nope, that's an L in there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be so happy with this. I might print it out if I have your permission.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I might try and clean up a little, maybe add a little color after we finish recording as well. So it was green flannel, purple sweatshirt.
Purple sweatshirt.
Were there any other details like hair or skin or that?
He has, I'm assuming, like tanned skin because he describes it as abnormally thick.
Okay.
And if he's been in the military and let's see, a little bit of fraying and wear and tear, which I think you captured really well. And his hair is brown with black eyes, piercing eyes.
Okay. He ended up with kind of just like little beady eyes, but
I think those work very well.
Pretty
it's still piercing.
Yes.
You would feel pierced. All right. Well, I think that is about the time that we have. So I'm going to call the sketch there. We'll see if I can. Oh, thank you. If I can do a little extra cleanup for it for you, and then I'll send it along for you to do as you will.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I'm glad. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the broadcast.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. You should check out, the next few weeks of more of OC-Tober. We're going to have more special guests who are going to be sharing their original characters.
Mm-hmm. Should be a lot of fun. At the very least, I am already having a blast. Thank you for offering up your partner's OC, Nicole. That was very fun.
Thank you for drawing Thomas Mansfield.
Absolutely.
And also, if you out there are also participating in OC-Tober or any of the October challenges for drawing, you can tag your drawings at SMC libraries. Share with us and show us what you're drawing. You can also use the hashtag SMCL Creates too, because we'd love to see what you make.
Also, just share your OCs in general. We love them.
Yeah, that's one of the part of the challenge of the October ones. It's like you have to share it with others as well, right?
That's a bigger draw of it, because like obviously you can do it just on your own, but a large part of the fun of it is the community aspect of like, hey, here I did this thing, and other people being like, yeah, you did. I did this thing. And with OCs, it means that you'll start getting little fans for your OCs. So you're not the one left just loving them alone in a corner.
And always remember that you can go to our website at smcl.org to see all our past episodes of How to Draw Anything, and also all the other virtual programs. You can see Nicole's story time. You can a lot of great content that is on smcl.org. So check it out.
All right, and I think that is going to bring us to the end of today's program. So again, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us. This was lovely. We're so glad you were able to come on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Hope to see you for the rest of OC-Tober, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.